much he loan you?
1,500.
I ain't got that kind of cash lying around to bail you out.
Bro, you want to get a drink later?
Yeah. And a liquid dinner?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to What the Flick. Alonso Duralde, Christy, Lemire, Matt Atchity. Christian Bale has a new accent for us. What do we got?
You don't believe it?
No, I do. I always believe his accents. They're amazing.
Is it better than his Batman voice?
He is Man Streep.
So this is a movie called Out of the Furnace. This stars Christian Bale and Casey Affleck as brothers living in a very depressed steel belt town. The year 2008, because it's right around the time of the presidential election. And they're both struggling, and they try to get themselves out of this rut that they're in different ways. Christian Bale tries to do it in legal, positive ways, and Casey Affleck does it through bare-knuckle boxing and getting caught up with all kinds of scary backwoods gangsters and meth heads. Take a look.
Now, why the hell you want to fight?
I just need the money.
You gonna be a good boy and take a dive, or I'm gonna have to teach you a lesson. They haven't been able to find your brother. The people up in those hills at their own breed of justice.
So this is a Leonardo DiCaprio production.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, because his production partner is a preschool mom at my kid's school.
Oh, really?
Yes, Appian Way. So this is like, it's angry and dirty and gritty and trying to be the deer hunter.
So trying to be a Deer Hunter. This movie has Deer Hunter written all over it, and it's not about anything, though. It's like,
is.
Look, this is a movie that is clearly made with the best of intentions, and it's about, let's talk about how shitty it is for the working class right now, and how the war in Iraq dragged on, and people got stop loss, and it messed with their heads, and people, the plant is closing, and there's no work, and I mean, all those things are interesting ideas.
It's a Springsteen song.
No, in my review, I said this is like every note card on Springsteen's bulletin board, but there's no people I hook those ideas onto. I didn't care about any of these characters. I didn't necessarily believe them, really. They just all felt like walking statements of purpose, of,
I disagree.
I felt like it was a Nation article but no story.
No, I disagree. I really liked and admired Christian Bale's character in this, and that here's a guy who's been dealt a bad hand and screws up and ends up in jail for it, and is trying to do the right thing. That scene on the bridge that he has with Zoe Saldana, I thought was heartbreaking.
Yeah. That's
heartbreaking.
the high
And I
point of the
think
film,
that
for sure.
when he's, and it's a measure of Christian Bale's acting ability that you get to see the grief and yet like forcing himself to express joy for her. I found that to be really powerful. I think the movie does make some mistakes. There's the first scene where Christian Bale bumps into Woody Harrelson, and Harrelson says something to him that almost renders useless the very first scene we see Woody Harrelson in.
When he brutalizes somebody.
Right, when he says, I got a problem with everybody. Okay, well then now I don't need to have seen anything from the beginning of that movie, because now you've very skillfully set that character, right? Which I liked that line. I thought that was really effective. I thought there was a lot of really good stuff going. I agree that there's problems with the movie. There's some places where it doesn't quite come together. But I felt like as a collection of acting and really powerful scenes, I feel like it gets so close to working that I'm willing to kind of cut it some slack.
I wonder if because the cast is so great, because you've got Willem Dafoe, you've got Woody Harrelson, Sam Shepard is in it as their uncle, Christian Bale, and Casey Affleck, of course. I feel like They Elevate was essentially kind of a grimy genre picture, right? Just by showing up and having. She's very good.
Whitaker shows up.
Oh, yeah, Forrest Whitaker's in this movie, right?
Yeah. I kind of wish this had been a grimy genre picture that also dealt with bigger ideas.
You think it's grimy?
It feels like it shifts gears from big idea movie about the working poor and the raw deal they're getting to underground fight clubs with New Jersey hillbillies.
But why can't it be both?
It could be both, but I don't think the movie treats them. The movie doesn't feel comfortable being both at the same time. It feels like it's one and then it's the other. And the same. We'll discuss this with Last Days of Mars too. I feel like filmmakers seem to forget that a lot of the grimy genre movies of the past also encompassed big ideas and kind of snuck them in a cool way. And now it sort of feels like, oh, well, I can be one or the other, and then if I want to be both, there has to be an abrupt shift between the two.
I
And
felt
it's
like they blended kind of seamlessly. I mean, it is about big ideas, about redemption, and about forgiving yourself for your past sins, and also is about the day-to-day life of these really horrible people. Like, I don't see why they can't work together. I think they do really, really beautifully here. Until the end. I'll say this. The end is messy. Because all of a sudden, Christian Bale becomes this, like, undercover badass in ways that I don't know that he has the knowledge of. I mean, yes, he lives in this small town, and he's been around screwed up meth head people for a while, but he knows how to insert himself in a way that I don't know where he would have gotten that skill set from.
Yeah, no, by the last act, I was completely not buying into
I
it.
don't know. I bought that his character, like there's a certain type of guy who is like the quiet, competent guy, and like I feel like, you know, again, going back to that scene with Woody Harrelson where he bumps into Harrelson, and Harrelson's, you know, he says, "Oh, I'm sorry," and Harrelson says something like, "You better be." And you see that, and part of this is Bale's portrayal. You see that this is a character that will be polite, but won't back down, won't shrink back, and says, "Are we going to have some kind of problem?" And you know, that strikes me like they're defining that guy as somebody who will assert himself when pushed to. And so at the end, you know, when he's up against Woody Harrelson, I bought into that. I believed it. I thought that was consistent with what we'd seen out of that character previously. You know,
and because he'd been in prison, maybe he knew some of that stuff
Well,
about drugs, or I don't know.
Well, and he'd been in prison.
I don't know. I'm reaching here.
You are really giving them a lifeline.
For instance, like in prison, right? Like he's in prison and somebody steps up to him and wants to, you know, and he immediately like sizes up the situation, and Christian Bale starts fighting the guy. And it's not until 2 or 3 other prisoners show up that he starts getting beaten on. But when it's 1-to-1, he shows that he's kind of fearless and he can handle himself. And I bought that in this movie. I bought that was a character that could handle himself.
I will say I like Christian Bale's performance. It's the one takeaway I had from this, and his scene with Zoe Saldana is definitely the highlight. But I think, frankly, if you're going to see a Christian Bale movie this month, save your money and wait for American Hustle.
Oh, yeah.
See, I think you should see both. And I think it's more than just Bale's performance. I think Casey Affleck's performance, like that character's last words, I thought were really interesting. And that character's, the way he portrayed that character and kind of like his inability to kind of just settle down, I found really compelling. I thought Woody Harrelson did a really good job. I mean, yeah, okay.
Woody Harrelson's chilling.
Yeah, he's terrifying in this.
Yeah.
I thought he was great. You know, Willem Dafoe, great as always.
In like 2 scenes.
Right. You know, Saldana, I think is really good. Forrest Whitaker is a guy who is in a weird position and is trying to do the right thing by the protocol, by the book he does, you know, turns in a great performance. I think that this is a movie that showcases enough good acting that I was willing to overlook the flaws in the storytelling, because I think there's enough positive in the storytelling that ultimately it comes together for me in a satisfying way. And I was okay that it was trying to be Deer Hunter, and it's got more than a little Winter's Bone in it too.
Yeah, I like the acting. I think there's a very high phony factor here.
Yeah, this is from Scott Cooper, who wrote and directed Crazy Heart.
Right.
So I feel like this is his niche, right? He knows these desperate, kind of dirty, low-down people who are trying to save themselves. And so that felt consistent for me.
Somebody had said that this director is, somebody told him he needs to be a serious filmmaker with a capital S. Like he should make serious movies.
This is a very serious movie.
This is a very serious
Well, yeah,
movie.
that's the thing. I think if this movie had been a little grimier, it wouldn't have felt so, oh look, I'm going to put a spotlight on these poor downtrodden people. There was a sense of just kind of BS that I could not cut through for this film, but obviously you guys did not have the problem, so.
See, I don't think so, because I feel like this fits within the same zone as like Killing Them Softly.
Right. I also didn't
I didn't like as well as you guys did.
Yeah,
Also said during 2008.
Well, there you go.
All right, let's do numbers.
Okay, numbers, so.
A 5.5 only for the acting. I think the script and the directing are bullshit.
I disagree. I mostly I found myself thinking about this movie for about a week, and it clearly affected me. So I give it a 7.5.
I'm going to change my number to a 7 because I think I'm higher on this than my previous number would indicate. So I'm now a 7. So that's what, like a 6.8?
Mr. Math.
6.8. If I'm 7,
That's a 7.
it's a 7. We're so talented here, aren't we? So that's a 7 average for us. It's a 57% on the tomato meter.
No, wait, sorry.
No, it's 6.8.
6.7.
6.75.
Sorry, I've had coffee at this
It's
morning.
somewhere in
So
that
6.7.
range.
Right.
It's
It's
6.7.
57% right now on the tomato meter. That's clearly too low. I'm
No, I
going to
don't
have to
think
go
it's
adjust the slider.
awfully
when I
high.
get it in the office.
Yeah, you do that all the time,
All
don't you?
right, bye.